Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah, boy, that feels good. And welcome to Unity of Santa Barbara. I'm Reverend Heidi Allfrey, and good for you for being willing to engage in this marvelous moment of your life. We are here because we are joined in consciousness. We're all here by divine appointment, and this is going to be an hour to see yourself as you have not before in that awakened state. So we are going to start with an affirmation because it is a wonderful one to use. It is a beautiful day in my consciousness. Can we say that together? It's a beautiful day in my consciousness. Yeah, yummy, yummy. So we're starting with a song because as we have been taught, there's a song breaks through crystallized conditions. And we all have some of those that feel a little crystallized. So we're going to break through those songs and we're going to sing the song Weave that I know many of you know. So if you want to stand, great. We have the lovely Prissy leading us. So here we go. Let's do this.
What a great way to start the day. Welcome all those online with us. Thank you, wonderful music team, for getting us going right at the beginning. Reverend Heidi for the warm welcoming. So you've got a great day, a great morning in front of us all. First, I light the candle to remind us that we are the light of the world. Light, the universal symbol of the light of love, the light of wisdom, the light of learning, which is a natural part of who we are, our true self. Let us affirm this together. I'll say it first. I am the light of the world. Together, I am the light of the world. And I ring the bells, the chimes, to remind us that harmony is here. And we can reach for it. We can be part of it as we reach with our hearts, our minds, become one with Spirit and the Spirit of all of us here. The daily word for today is healing. The affirmation is, my thoughts, words, and actions affirm divine life. Today, I give thanks for the constant activity of divine healing life, especially when my body is experiencing illness. To bolster my awareness of my capacity for healing, I placed my attention on my inherent wholeness. I affirm life in my thoughts, words, and actions as I care for the body and meet its needs. My faith assures me that illness is not my final destiny, but it is my wholeness is my enduring reality. Through my actions, I am affirming wholeness as my true nature and encouraging healing. Even when I'm not facing illness, I greet each day by blessing this body, affirming wholeness, and the ongoing activity of divine life in every organ, in every cell. I give thanks for the gift of divine life by giving thanks for my healing and living joyously. And from Luke, Jesus speaks to the woman, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace." Isn't that lovely? Such great words of wisdom we get to draw upon. Healing, wholeness, and holiness. Oh, that is my career. That is what I've chosen to be part of. And so it's not new, but I've come to appreciate that. When people say, "I know so little and there's yet so much more to learn," I'm slowly learning how true that is, especially about healing and wholeness. I'm dedicated to helping people find alternate ways of healing: diet, exercise, supplements, meditation, visualization, healing hands from others. And yet also have come to realize that medications, vaccines, surgery all have their place. We've got a physical body. It needs to be treated in very physical ways many times. And my left hip is looking forward to being repaired and healed soon. It becomes personal in many different ways in all of us. But I know I'm connected to the healing center known by God. And I affirm that often, and I know it makes a difference. I use it for myself. I use it for my patients every morning. There's at least a few that I put on the list, sending energy, sending hope, hopefully increasing the connection between the soul, the spirit, and the body and personality. That's the vehicle for it. I know that we each have a center of healing within ourselves, an inner physician. And the more that we commune with it, the more it can do its work and make less work for me. That's just fine. I'm deeply grateful for those who developed the skills and spiritual awareness that teaches the rest of us how we can find what we're looking for within ourselves and slowly awaken the master of healing, the master of wisdom, the master of love that resides within. So let us be grateful for the gift of divine life within each one of us and the healing that pours through it continuously.
I have a friend who is going through a very hard time, and I told her that I was going to dedicate my singing today to her. And I invite you that if you know anyone who is having a really hard time right now, I would invite you to bring them to mind for your prayers and meditation today. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake counting gifts instead of she. I've got a heart that can hold love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. In a city of strangers, I've got a family of friends. No matter what rocks and brambles fill the way, I know that they will stay until the end. I feel a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand you can see, but on the road to the promised land, this hand will shepherd me through delight and despair, holding tight and always there. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. It's not that I don't want a lot, or hope for more, or dream of more, but giving thanks is what I've got. There's so much happier to be giving for in a world that can bring pain. I will still take each chance, for I believe that whatever the terrain, our feet can learn to dance. Whatever stone life may sling, we can moan or we can sing. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. Truly blessed and duly grateful.
Thank you, Prissy. Beautiful. And Noreen and Randy and Renee. Wow, what a blessing. So happy June, new month, new day. We can breathe in together, new breath. I know things have changed. Bonnie had a haircut. Bonnie, it looks great. Yeah. So it's, there are a lot of things that change. Everybody's like, Bonnie got a haircut? Lots of things change in this life. My gosh, if we had a year unlike any other year, and you are doing things differently, whether you wanted to or not. But I'll tell you what's really fantastic, and it gives me a lot of peace, is metaphysics that we're talking about in these many weeks, and about which unity is grounded, don't change. You know, you can apply them to every circumstance of your life, and that is what is so valuable about them, and also the reason we're here 100 years plus, since the Fillmores started really using these principles, the New Thought leaders, and it's a wonderful experience to find the key that opens the door of those places where we get stuck or where we get frustrated. And I'm so glad to be back. I was gone about 10 days and went out and saw some of the people I hadn't seen for a long time. And it was wonderful. And I have so many metaphysicians in my life. So it's wonderful to go back, come see people I haven't seen for a while. And they're doing the things they talked about doing and starting things. And it's a beautiful thing, this kind of family of people practicing these experiences. And thank you for bringing that up before your song. You know, right? It made the whole song mean more when we all just care about each other. You know, I always think it's interesting that there's a show of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And there's very few shows about Who Wants to Be More Compassionate? Yeah, right? You know, but that's what our life's about. You know, that's what I realize the longer we live, which is the best part of, I think, getting, let's say, more seasoned, a little more, more like that wine that gets better and better over time. It's, we really get to recognize what's important, and what's important are our connections with ourselves, with one another. So welcome to this time of really clarity and empowerment. And thank you for being a metaphysician, Dr. Jim. He goes beyond the physician, right? And a metaphysician, talking about how he cares so much about the people that see him and has, very prayerful thoughts about them. And that's what we are working with is metaphysics. And I know that many people have said, I've been in Unity a long time, and sometimes we don't talk about sort of the beginnings and the grounding from which everything else has come. So I'm really grateful you all are wanting to stay in this riveting conversation. My life has shifted so much by feeling empowered by these teachings. And I want to say hello to everybody online also, because I know even though you may be on your couch with your slippers, it works wherever we are and whatever goes on. So something just a little humorous. We say, metaphysics really don't change. It's a very nice experience to know that. But we have all kinds of little stories about people, different nationalities, and kind of tendencies of folks. And so we'll talk about, as we know here at Unity, heaven and hell are states of mind, states of being, no place you're going to go at some point, because there really isn't any moment except for now. Let's take another breath. Yeah, this is it. And it really makes it very simple, right? When we just go, this is where life is, right here. But, we have to bring some humor into this life. And so you might have heard this before. And don't take this personally if anything is, like, wait a minute, I'm good at this. And anyway, in heaven, the police are British, the mechanics are German, the cooks are French, the lovers are Italian, and the whole thing is run by the Swiss. In hell, the cooks are British, the police are German, the mechanics are French, that won't work, the lovers are Swiss, and the whole thing is run by the Italians. Buongiorno. Yes, it's very funny the way that we can be, let's say the way that we are raised, but boy, the metaphysics apply to all of us, and that's what's really great. Today, we're talking about, we've been looking at different aspects of metaphysics. We started with what is metaphysics, what is heart-centered metaphysics, which is what we're talking about. I left that darn book over there. Jim, do you mind bringing it to me? That'd be really great. Okay. So it's not, thank you. It's not just, a scientific experience. It's the heart-centered metaphysics. So we're talking about emotions and thoughts coming together and demonstrating or manifesting. And we started off with looking at, what is metaphysics? What does this mean? And it's really the science of being, the science of consciousness, the ability to be aware who you are and where you are in your world. It could be in this moment just noticing the clothes on your body. You know, how do they feel? How is the temperature in the room? You know, how am I breathing? Right? How am I? You know, am I here? Am I present? Or am I thinking about lunch afterward? Right? Okay, now everybody's thinking about lunch afterward. But anyway, the idea of really being present. And then we looked at the idea of Jesus, of Christ Jesus, of humankind, and that Christ consciousness didn't have anything to do as much as Jesus being an exception as an example, and that we're living Christ consciousness. It's a life rather than about one man that could be more of a traditional belief. And then 2 weeks ago, we started looking at the creative process and how you can look at Genesis and see all the symbolism of the creative process and how we are co-creators. You know, you might have been taught that there's a God up there that's organizing this whole thing, like the Italians, but that really you are a co-creator. And finally, what we're talking about today is proving these teachings. Proving God, proving this experience. Because I don't know about you, I don't want to do anything that doesn't work. You know, I came a few weeks ago and I had to put this big disappear stuff on my nose because I used this strip that was supposed to take off the impurities and it took off part of my nose. So I had to go put all this stuff on, although I know y'all would have loved me with a big red spot on my nose. But when I pass that stuff in the drugstore, I go, no, I'm not buying that again, right? Because it didn't work. Now, I don't have to stand there and tell anybody that walks by, this stuff is horrible. I have to get online, have a big story about it. I don't have to do that. I just don't use it anymore. So the point is that we want to have things that work, that demonstrate. And I can tell you, metaphysicians, you have had things that demonstrate. You may forget. You may not notice it. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to have demonstrations and manifestations. And so we're going to have a affirmation that we're going to start with today. I know we're going to just jump on in there, Penny. And it is, I am a marvelous manifester of my heart's desires. And I'd like you to just put your hand, it could be on your heart, but I'd like you to feel the vibration when you speak. Because see, we're energy, all right? Okay, so here we go. I am a marvelous manifester of my heart's desires, all right? Yeah. And I put that last part in there of my heart's desires. As of Saturday afternoon, it was just, I'm a marvelous manifester. But then I thought, and as I'm reading more about this, we're manifesting all the time. So we'd like to manifest our heart's desires rather than some story, maybe you heard from the news or something that you have your parents or however it is. You want to manifest what it is you want. Is that correct? Yeah. Yes, very good. Because have you ever manifested something you didn't want? Yes, because you're talking about it and it may just be a habit. Yeah, we had a wonderful woman in our class on Wednesday, and she told me that I could tell her, I'm going to just make it anonymous, but she said, I am overweight and I have a lot of clutter. And I just sat there because I know that's not true. That's not the ultimate truth for her. And so I started asking her, is that true? Is that like, would everyone say that's true? Who's decided what people should weigh? Who's decided, that I'm overweight? But do you see that that's not something, that isn't something she goes, oh, I feel great about saying that. Right? How about I love my body and it's perfect in this moment? Because we know that is true. Things that are true are right for everybody, and you can feel it. I have some clutter that I know I can organize if I choose to. Right? There's just a whole nother way. Metaphysics is looking at the power you have, and that if I'm going to say I'm overweight, that's where I'm going to be living. But if I can say I love my body and I'm ready to release anything that isn't healthy for me, things start to shift because it's a truth. Anybody want to? Yep. Okay, y'all good with that? Yeah, right. Okay, very good. I love my body. Yes. All right. So we're going to look at Charles Fillmore. All right. That he was his words, and he knew about words. Right. So here's his way of talking about demonstration. It says the secret of demonstration is to conceive what is true in being, and to carry out the concept in thought, word, and act. Right? So we don't just have an idea of something that is true, a new experience. We get involved with it. We start acting from that place. And losing weight, whatever it is, I want to start acting from the place of loving my body. And loving your body is eating food that is good for your body, right? I mean, so the idea is that it's thought, word, and action. And the second point that he makes is that demonstration is, did I miss one here? Let's see. Okay. Oh, it's a spiritual realization followed by the manifestation in the outer of the truth that has been realized within. All right. So when something manifests on the outer, it's something that you believe. It's something that you've come to accept. So it's not like, oh, I'm lucky. I love to be on an airplane. I just love being in the sky. Call me an airhead, whatever you want to call me. But I love being in the sky. I really do. And I always get the seat that I want. Number one, I see it. I believe it. I also pay for the early bird, so I get on early. See, I'm working with the universe here. And I get my seat because I can see it, and then I put action into it. I put thought into it. I invested in it, and I get that seat. And it's wonderful. I take a picture of it often and send it to myself. But it's silly stuff, but the point is that allows me to be comfortable if it's a long flight and do the things I want to do. So you see that it's simple stuff, and then it can be the big stuff. But if we work with the simple stuff, then the big stuff becomes so much easier. And we miss the simple stuff. Do you know that we put a man on the moon before we put wheels on luggage? That's supposed to be amazing, right? Okay. And wheels on luggage, yes, isn't that crazy? And wheels on luggage is my favorite thing in the world. But that's the kind of thing we figure out, but way before the simple stuff. So we start with the simple stuff. And this is the thing that Paul writes in this book also, that demonstration is always occurring whether the results are liked or not. Therefore, conscious demonstration is the goal. Okay, do we know what we're talking about here? Because we are always manifesting. And so how is it that we would like to manifest? Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So our opportunity is to kind of play with this. It's not beating ourselves up or trying to shove the words back in. It's just like, wow, I say that a lot. I say I'm overweight, or I can't afford this, or I'm too old. And I feel it's a heaviness. So I know that's not honoring that light of the world that is who I am. So how might I say that differently? And call some of your other metaphysician friends, because we will have, there's great ideas that we can have for you. Because the thing that I've worked on, you may be wanting to work on the thing I can work on, somebody else has already done. So this is what's so really great. All right, so what we're looking at today is the stumbling blocks, the way that we can run into our own belief system that doesn't work, and the keys to manifesting what we want. Because we're going to prove God in this. We're going to prove this principle. And here's our affirmation again, because I want to make sure everybody stays in the game. I am a marvelous manifester of my heart's desires. Here we go. I am a marvelous manifester of my heart's desires. And I want you to know that is just the opening, the awakening, so you can start to see where it might not happen. All right? So we're using this metaphor. The talk is called, Are You Revved Up or Run Down? Because when your car is working, the car of your life is working well, things just, like, yay. And when it feels, this is how it feels when we're not living in our affirmative state of mind. So these are 4 ways. Let's see, what does Charles say about stumbling blocks? He says, stumbling blocks may at first seem to be in the physical environment, but closer discrimination and closer discernment reveals that they are primarily in the mind. All right, and how many times, and I hate to see how much this happens every day, where something will happen. Yesterday, okay, it may not seem like a big deal to you, but I could not find the blade for my juice maker. It was a problem, right? And I bought all the things, and I'm ready to make it, and I can't find the blade. You would have thought that it was the end of my life. For a moment, I'm like calling some of the dog sitters. Do y'all know where that blade is? And I hope none of them are watching, because one of them was like, did I not treat your dog well? I'm like, no, I just can't find my blade, And so it was, but I had to really get that this stumbling block was my inability to lighten up around it. Right? I mean, it wasn't appearing, but but I had to shift my mind. And so I sat down and I ate some other things, and I, drank some other things, and just, and before you know it, it was actually sitting in the juice maker. It was just sitting there. It was in there. And I just, so I have to text these people back. Sorry. It's just like, oh my gosh. Right? But it's again a stupid, silly example, not stupid, silly example of losing it over what, right? And, and so, this is how I was going to save money on not buying juices and all my stuff, it's like, oh, for heaven's sakes. So we're really working on being kind and humorous and silly at the same time. And am I feeling, revved up or run down? Because when I'm in that place of not seeing the light of the world that I am, it's always run down. All right, so we're looking at the usual suspects of blocking demonstration. And here we are, I have problems sometimes with the car, and I'll look in there and go, oh boy, I don't understand that, but somebody does. And so sometimes the point is just not needing to lose it over challenges. So, our 4 stumbling blocks are fear. Anybody ever feel fear? Yeah, like I'll never have another green drink for the rest of my life, that kind of stuff. Attachment to outcome, resistance, and unforgiveness. All right, and I will tell you, these are learned and practiced, and so they happen before we can, you'll just feel them. And so, but what happens in metaphysics is the main thing is just awareness. Just being, there I go again. There is this silly thought, here's something that can't be real because it doesn't feel enlivening. It doesn't feel like the light of the world. So we start to look at and start to unpack these things. All right, fear. Now, Peter, our disciple Peter, was actually called the Rock. Before Dwayne Johnson was called the Rock, Peter was called the Rock. Yes, and so, but Peter is the one that had the biggest story about fear. He's asked to get out of the boat. Jesus is asking him to come out and walk on the water. Get out of the rut of our fear and walk on the water. And I don't know how many of you have walked on the water, but I would think that would feel kind of scary. And so Peter gets down and he's walking at first. But as Fillmore says, he starts to notice the wetness of the water. He starts to doubt. He starts to say, how is this happening? And I don't know about you, but sometimes when really great things start to happen, it can feel scary. When people are like really, really kind to me, or really like everything's working out, it can feel kind of like, whoa, can I let it in? Can I let this be so great? And so he starts to sink in his doubt. And then he realizes that it's the faith in being able to be the light that allows the walking. And so this rock is in all of us, but we see that Peter was one of the big stories of fear. So we just know that fear will happen, because every time you're manifesting something, anytime you say, I'm going to start school, maybe I'm even going to cut my hair, I'm going to try something different, there is always the I don't know how it's going to happen. And so one of my favorite lines is, the how is none of my business. All right, let's say that together. The how is none of my business, because it isn't. Your job is to just keep moving in the direction where you want to go. I have a friend, his name's Peter also, and he is actually the music director. It was in Chicago, and we've stayed friends, and he was telling me he's enjoyed the period of COVID because he's written all this music. And now it's, people are getting vaccinated, he was going out, and now he wanted to make a CD. And he said, but Heidi, had to spend all this money on making a CD. I had to have a band, I had to have recording time, I had to do all these things, and he's going, and it was really nice not spending much money during COVID, and now I've got to spend my money. And he said, this was so scary, right? This was so scary. He goes, but then he said the line that happens to every single person when you're manifesting is, but I can't not do it. He goes, I can't die with this music in me. I can't die with not sharing this music with the world. So friends, do you see how demonstration is something that's within you that you can't not do? I can't not have this relationship. I can't not grow in consciousness because because I'm miserable. So I loved his story about walking through fear. Now, this is Charles's quote. It's one of my favorite around fear. He says, "The only lack is the fear of lack in the mind. We do not need to overcome any lack, but we must overcome the fear of lack." Isn't that profound? Because see, my friend Peter, his story was, if I spend this money, I won't get any more. There's only so much money, right? There's only so much health. There's only so much love, which is untrue. I don't know where we ever had a problem with the word needy, because we need love, we need air, we need food, we need lots of things. And so our ability to just be open to what it is we want to manifest. So he said, and I did it, and I feel great. He said it was the best album ever. I'm so excited about it. And he goes, and I don't have the fear anymore, right? Because he acted on what it was that he wanted to manifest, and he did manifest it. All right, now I'm going to invite you all. This is the Bible. This is one of Unity's Bibles. And if you don't have a copy, I don't know if we have any more left, but order it online. You have it on Kindle. Because there's 15 keys. We have these 4 stumbling blocks, and there's 15 keys to demonstration. And they're on page 312 through 326, so you can come join the Wednesday night class. But I won't go through them all because I have enough words going on up here. But I want you all to realize how many tools we have here at Unity. Things like affirmations and prayer and realization and the 12 powers. All right, so I invite you. This is one of the most wonderful books. It was written about 10 years ago, but it is extraordinary for understanding what this consciousness is all about. This is another challenge Fillmore has to say. He says, never make an assertion. You don't have this, Penny. Don't look for it. The challenge, he said, never make an assertion, no matter how true it may look on the surface, that you do not want to see manifest in your life. Right? Never make an assertion, no matter how true it may look on the surface, that you do not want to see manifest in your life. So when I get to Florida and my friends are like, how are things? How is everything? And there's great things going on. And there's other things going on. And I just realized, I'm not going to say anything that I don't want to manifest. I don't want to say anything that I don't want to manifest. Do we see how true that is? I am a marvelous manifester of the desires of my heart's desires. Let's say that again. I am a marvelous manifester of my heart's desires. So I want you to look at anything you say. If it's not your heart's desire, just go, do we get where you're creating? We're creating. Whether it's something you enjoy or not, you're creating. So it's so valuable. Affirmations, he says, are not positive thinking, it's realization thinking. All right? So let me just go through about 4 of these keys of demonstration. The first one is forgiveness. All right? We all know about forgiveness, but you know what forgiveness really is? It's creating space for something beautiful to show up. My favorite quote about forgiveness, Lily Tomlin says, forgiveness means giving up all hope for a better past. Right? It's giving up all hope for a better past. Yeah, because it's like, well, I could have said that differently to her, or I could have done that differently, that, right? Doesn't matter. Because this moment, we breathe in, is where life is. It's right here. So the idea is, what is it that's on your heart to bring forth in the world? It's going to be different for all of us, but it matters because this is how the world is working. We can look at all these problems and what can I do? I can clean up my consciousness. I can care. I can write that thank you note. I can call somebody and tell them I care about them. I can meditate. So forgiveness, one of the big tools is you can lay at night in your bed and send love to those people or those things that you feel frustrated about. Ram Dass said he had all these pictures of all these people on his altar, and right in the middle, because he had an issue with the President of the United States, he had the President of the United States right in the middle. And we don't know who that was, so I'm not going to even tell you. But the point is that you want to, love your enemies. Because guess why? You're the one that's going to suffer. All right, so we are going to go on to the next one, which is patience. I don't know. I have 5 planets in Sagittarius and patience. I don't know what happened, but I don't have much of it, yeah? So good for you. For those of you, please stand around me. I'll vibrate to some of that. But patience, an attitude of mind characterized by poise, inner calmness, and quiet endurance, especially in the face of trying conditions. Or no blade for your juice maker, whatever you want to do, right? But it's the ability to be patient is one of our keys to demonstration, because you may be wanting to have careers in music and you start playing something and nothing's happening right away. So there's a time, there's a gestation period. You know, even you weren't born for 9 months or 9-ish months, right? There's a patience, a big piece of patience. Then there's joy. Joy is a great one. I love these songs that we sing. You know, Charles says you can drive away all gloom of disappointment by resolutely singing a sunshine song. Do you all remember in Unity, they used to call it joy songs? Yeah? And do you know people in my classes for years sometimes don't come to my classes because we often start with a song. Heidi, I don't want to sing. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Do you want to be happy? It's just a thought. So we're going to have a little bit of a song. Yeah, we are. And it's the one I have joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Y'all know it, right? Okay, so sorry. You know what, Noreen, we can just, God bless Noreen. She's always, okay. I mean, you know, she knows everything. So, all right. Oh, you guys, really, it's like one chorus. It's really okay. Oh my gosh, look at this place. All right, so. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart to stay. That's all we're doing. Very good. Yeah, very good. Y'all, thank you. I mean, I thought it was going to be my a cappella whatever, so I appreciate that, yeah. Do you feel the shift? Right, you are shifting. It's vibrational. It's not like, I did that to, inflict any bad thing on anybody. It's like we are energy. So these things that take you back to being a kid are the things that are really amazing. So the last one is gratitude. You sang about gratitude. It's an extraordinary experience of being grateful. And I will just tell you that Charles says that with gratitude, you will find that that the use is quickly, it's followed so quickly by the effects pronounced that they are quickly identified with the words that provoke them. I didn't do the whole quote. The point is, when you feel grateful, like I'm so grateful for the seat that I'm gonna have on the airplane, it seems silly, but I'm so grateful for this experience that I wanna have. And what shifts, it's in you. Yep. So I just want to tell you, I went to see my mom, and I will tell you that she is getting where she needs me more, and it's nice. It's really sweet. I was helping her with her tennis shoes, putting them on, and she said, Heidi, I just hate for you to wait on me. And I said, Mom, I think I came out of your body. Okay, so I mean, like right there was a little bit of service, right? And and you did so much for me as a kid. I said, this is an honor. Yeah, and it's just this place of gratitude. So she'd fallen, and she had a pain in her hip. We were supposed to go to my nephew's graduation, and we decided to go a day later because we needed to go to the doctor to see how she was doing. And so we're driving down the street in Houston, and we're going to the doctor. Our plans had changed. It wasn't, our gratitude, but I'm driving along, and it's because of this time of being immersed in these metaphysical teachings. I look up, and Houston, one of my favorite things of Houston is that there's trees growing over the street. It's really beautiful. Here they are. And so we're driving along, and I went, Mom, I love this part of Houston. Look at these trees. And we, and she's like, yeah. And we just started talking about the trees, right? And there's no doctor, or our schedule changed. We're just in that gratitude of the trees. And of course, I take a picture, and she's like, don't take a picture while we're driving. I'm just like, oh, Mother, I love you. You're a little bit like driving Miss Daisy, but I love you. And but the deal is, see, we were in the trees. And the whole point of this gratitude is noticing. You might just look around, or look at this beautiful building, and how many people are here that you love and and hello everybody online. There's so much to be grateful for, like Chrissy saying, and it's just so valuable for our life because, again, we don't want to miss a minute of it. That we practice this gratitude. This is where the manifestations, the demonstrations happen. So I want to tell you all about one of my favorite demonstrations. It's really one of my, it was amazing in life. It is Pride Month. We begin Pride Month in June. Happy Pride Month, especially for those who are personally celebrating Pride Month. But I'd moved to Chicago in June of 2014, in March of 2014. And in June of 2014, on June 1st, was the day of marriage equality in Illinois. So it was legal to be married as a gay person. And, you know, it's not like that love and those people didn't want to get married up until that date, but that was the date that they were going to get married. And a couple of months before that happened, another minister came to me and said, you know, you should do a mass wedding of just all, you know, people on June 1st. We had a beautiful courtyard. And I said, that's just Reverend Moon. I'm not Reverend Moon. Is that legal? You know, and we laughed about it. But I went back and talked to one of the guys that was working for the news in Chicago. And he said, I think we could do this. He was part of Unity. And we just got going. You know, we put this into thought, word, and action, and it turned into the most extraordinary experience. We called it Married in Unity. We married 40 couples. We had about 400 guests. We were on the news. I interviewed a couple that had been together a long time. The man had bullets in his body from being at a gay function where people shot into the space. I mean, incredible stories of people overcoming and living metaphysically. So I wanted to show you, it was called Married in Unity. I want to show you the beginning and then just a very little bit of a vow that I did for these 40 couples. So Married in Unity demonstration.
Thank you all for coming out. My name is David Vigiano, and I'm one of the co-organizers of the event. And thank you. So welcome to Married in Unity. This is Chicago's first, and I'm guessing only, non-denominational, all-inclusive group wedding to celebrate marriage equality. So I'll just give you a brief background before we start. Reverend Heidi is our new minister here at Unity in Chicago. If you've never been to Unity, she's wonderful. If you've never been to Unity in Chicago, you got to check it out because this event kind of sums up what we're all about. Reverend Heidi was here less than a month, and she goes, marriage equality on June 1st, I want to do something. So we sat down and talked, and we're like, let's do it. And this just grew. Just grew and grew, and so many people wanted to be a part of it. I have to tell you, we have 40 couples today, 40 that are getting married, and have all backgrounds, all ages, gay, straight. It's amazing. We have some that are getting legally married, some coming in from other states who want to get married. We have a lot who had a civil union here when it was legal in 2011, and now they will be legally married, and they're going to be transferring their civil union to a real marriage. And we have people here who just want to renew their vows or make a commitment to each other. Runs the gamut. It's beautiful. And that's what I love about Unity in Chicago. All-inclusiveness.
Oh, great. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So there was another little clip, but it didn't happen somehow. Anyway, it's okay. It's all right. So the idea, though, demonstration, right? An idea, people getting together, recognizing how important that was so important to our community and to Chicago. And so I want you to recognize, and I want you to be able to recognize how you are creating and what matters to you, what's important. And you will stay on that track. As you stay on that track, your life just becomes so incredibly valuable. It's the reason that we're all born. So aren't we lucky to be together in a community that really says everyone has great value? Everyone is, the way that you are, the more authentic you can live, the more joyful you will be. So let us do our affirmation, which is, again, I am a marvelous manifester of my heart's desires. And I'd like to close with Charles's wonderful quote. He says, just in proportion as a person yields willingly and obediently to the transforming process, does he demonstrate truth. All that pertains to self must be put away as fast as it is revealed, and that which is of the universal, the Christ, must take its place. So let us get our small little selves out of the way and let the universal replace it, and you will see the beautiful, incredible demonstrations that will happen through you as you, and the world is blessed by your presence. You are the light of the world. And so it is. And let us go into a time of meditation, of practicing the presence, of practicing that silence. I do want to say as we go into meditation, just in a prayerful way, you can start to play, Noreen, it always makes it sound better. We're blessing people and lives, and this yellow rose is here to symbolize a pet that a dear member of our community lost this week, and it is Peggy Haskell, and her pet is Dakota. So we have a yellow flower for Dakota. I also want to hold in your hearts, there's Dakota, and I believe that Diana painted this painting, so talk about consciousness, right? Yeah. And our dear friend and AV soul, Sven Holcomb, his brother Edgar did pass, and he is there with his family, and we send so much love to Sven and his family, and just during this amount of change, just knowing the light of the world that they are. And I would invite us, as we're going into meditation with this beautiful time of consciousness raising, that you can speak into our space, the name of anyone that's on your heart. You can say it silently or, whisper it into the space. As we heal any stumbling blocks to our demonstration, we heal all stumbling blocks. I am a co-creator with all that is. And it's a beautiful truth and awakening to understand my feeling of ease and freedom creates that for everyone. I am here to not so much be understood as to understand, as Francis of Assisi taught us. I open my heart and my mind to looking at the ways that I may not celebrate my own life as I would like to, being very gentle with myself. And I also see all the blessings and see all the growth and the change and the ability to manifest from pure love, pure gratitude, pure joy. Sometimes it's great to see yourself as a little girl or a little boy. Just a moment where you really experience that sense of awe for just being alive, looking at your little hands, your little feet. So let us take that sweetness into our silent time, knowing that we let go and we let God. I am that I am. That's where we start. And then we know it's in every one of us. I am that I am. So we see ourselves holding hands with all people all around this wonderful planet, a big circle of people and animals and all of us in that beautiful oneness, knowing that we are the light of the world. And we just begin. This moment is the beginning. It's the place to breathe. It's the place to love. It's the place to live. I feel so grateful for our spiritual masters, their teachings, and how we are now the next place where spirituality is being experienced and expressed. And we feel gratitude for the beating of our heart, the flowing of our blood, the breathing of our lungs, and that we are the vessel through which spirit awakens. Thank you, Spirit, for this amazing life. And allow me and us to live it to its fullest. And so it is. Amen. So we are moving into a time of gratitude, truly a time of being able to be grateful for this incredible place. I want to thank you all so much for the years and years and years of support of Unity of Santa Barbara. Dr. Jim was just telling me, Barbara, you all have been pulling weeds and taking care of plants for years and years and years, right? Let's give Barbara a hand, right? It's just so fun. Next time you bring me deviled eggs, I'm putting a skull and crossbones on it because everybody ate them, anyway. So we'll be looking for those deviled eggs. Anyway, the point is that there's been so much just generosity to Unity of Santa Barbara and online. And so we just keep living there, right? It's a metaphysical teaching you give. I told y'all last time that somebody had given $25,000 for our marketing program, and a new website's coming out. And I went back to her and I said, how can we bless you with that? And she said, I've already received the blessing, right? Just by the giving. So thank you all just from coming from that place of there's always enough because we are unlimited. So one of our affirmations going into our offering time is, here we go. I am abundance in action. I have plenty to spare and plenty to share. And there's lots of ways to give. You can certainly give right here. Our ushers will come around in a moment. If you're online, santabarbaraunity.org, you can give there. There's, if you're on Facebook, you can go to donate. If you want to give with a credit card, we have an abundance table out here. You can get into Givelify, and you can give on a recurring basis, and we can show you how to do that. Mainly, just keep your heart open for Unity of Santa Barbara. We are tithing. We're a tithing community, so 10% of everything that comes in goes out to the community. And we told you last week it's $25,000 to run this place each month. So we are having a giving goal of $2,500 going out into the community, which is 10% each month. So thanks for helping us with our giving goal. It's good stuff. All right, so let's see. We are Amazon. Anybody heard of Amazon? Anybody ever used Amazon? Okay, every time, just wondering. It is a river, but it's also this huge shopping center. You can, 10% or a small percentage comes in. So, but use smile.amazon.com and you can pick us as a nonprofit. So, do that because I know how y'all shop. So it'd be a great thing. I know. So let's just put our hands together and just bless the abundance that we are, and we'll say our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. Yes, and God is my source. Here she goes.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one soul, sore and covered with scars, still strove with their last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one soul, scorned and covered with scars, still trove with their last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars, the unreachable stars, the unreachable stars.
Woo! Wow. Bravo. I tell you, we should be throwing flowers. That was amazing. Frissy, wow. Oh my gosh. Because it's vibration. Thank you. I was like, oh, the glass is going to break. Anyway, that was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for sharing your gift. And this is what it can feel like, the impossible dream, but we're metaphysicians, right? So we just keep striving. Thank you, Agris. I appreciate it. Okay, we're doing something a little new. It's June, and we want to say happy birthday to June babies. So if you were born in June, if you can just raise, yes, and we have a flower for you, a sunflower. So it's just one who, well, you can raise your hand if you don't want to stand up. Look, here comes your flower. There you go. Yes. Anybody else? June babies? Oh my gosh. All right. So we have a quick little happy birthday. All right. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adrian. Happy birthday to you. Oh, perfect. You're the perfect. All right. I love it. Okay, everything's coming up flowers here. This is great. So is anybody visiting us for the first time? If you, nobody? All right. Well, anyway, we're glad you're here. Okay, this is different. Jackson Gillis is going to be speaking. Gillies? Gillies. Okay, Jackson Gillies is singing next Sunday, and he, as you know, is on American Idol, incredible talent, and we're going to have him in concert with his band. So it's Jackson Gillies and company. It's 5 young men from Santa Barbara, and it's going to be extraordinary. So it's going to be Saturday night, June 19th. It'll be the night before Father's Day. So what a great gift, and it's going to just be extraordinary. So it'll be $25 for the concert. You can get 5 tickets for $100, and it's just been a big deal for him to say yes, and we're really excited. So you all come. It'll be our first post-restriction event. So come on out here and do this thing. Yes, and we'll have a little reception out in the parking lot. It'll be great. So we won't have dance night because, I can only do so much. So anyway, so there's a dance night. We won't have it. We'll have it in July on the 16th. All right, Metaphysics class, you can drop in anytime. It's online. You can find the Zoom code. A high vibration breath work that people really loved last time is going to be this Friday at 6 o'clock in the chapel. Today's beautiful flowers were designed by a Sedona I know how to do this. Vigliotti. Anyway, so they're yeah, Sedona, and thank you. That's such beautiful service. We know the rose is for Dakota, and bless her and her. She's on the wings of angels. She crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and what a wonderful life she had with Miss Peggy, I tell you. All right, so I want to tell you, we have another big thing in July. Gay Hendricks is going to come speak here on July 11th. Gay and Kay Hendricks have been teaching conscious loving for 40 years, and they live very close, and he's going to come and introduce his new book, which is called The Genius Zone, on July 11th. But Katie has a year-long program called Reweaving the World, and she's saying we don't want to go back to whatever normal was, that we really want to reweave this world as metaphysicians. It's a year-long course. It's on Tuesday mornings from 9 to 10:30 on Zoom, and she's giving everyone at Unity of Santa Barbara $100 off. I think it's something like $600. It'd be like $500 for a year. So it is. You can find out at hendricks.com, but you can talk to us, and it starts on June 22nd. So we'll go June 22nd, and then a whole year on Tuesday mornings. So come talk to us. That was her gift to this, gift to our community. All right. Our prayer ministry, you're never alone. You can call or email your prayers. They come and they're here for 30 days, and they also are sent to Silent Unity. So you are, please do that. It's a beautiful thing. So we have Happy Pride Month, of course, and now we're going to have our raffle drawing. So if you got offline, too bad. Anyway, yeah, so we have a raffle drawing. Dr. Jim's going to come up because he's really honest, and we raised $1,400. Let's see, Renee, we're going to have. Hang on. So, Renee, let's have a drum roll. There we go. Oh, you can read it, my friend.
I don't have it.
Oh, do we have our glasses and microphone? Where did I put my glasses? Okay, it looks like, oh my gosh, Holder, but I want to say Donna Holder. Donna Holder, I saw her. Yes, I know she's somewhere. That's right. She drives an hour and a half to come. So this is really a beautiful thing. But $1,400, it's going to our wonderful music team. We cannot do this without you all. And so thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. And I got to tell you, it just gets more. Thank you, Dr. Jim. And so $100 to Donna. My gosh, one of our wonderful volunteers. So, yes. Oh, wow.
Led the orchestra, the 4th of July music program at the Sunken Gardens.
Oh, wow.
It's really, really nice to see.
Oh, thank you for saying that, Barbara. I appreciate it. Okay, so you got to receive all that love. It's a lot, isn't it? I know. All right, you all, thank you for being here. Let's all stand and sing our peace song. All right. And Christy, you're going to lead us, right? I hope. Okay, here we go.
There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all
Before we start our prayer protection, let us be grateful for our AV team, Penny and Gary, our wonderful music team, Noreen, Randy, Renee, and our special guest, Prissy, Reverend Heidi, metaphysician extraordinaire, and all the others who are helping us with this service. Volunteers indeed. And so now, our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a wonderful week.
I almost have it, when I can watch your left hand, I can always like